As I promised you, after exploring some important aspects of the European Union, its origin, its institutions, its strengths, its weaknesses, and its future challenges, now it's time to move our attention and to focus it on the United Kingdom, because we need to understand why the United Kingdom left the European Union through the process called Brexit. And we also need to study some key moments of the 20th and 21st century history of the United Kingdom. And as you will see in the pictures and photographs I have chosen for you, we will talk about different topics: war and conflict, politics and economics, society and culture. And all this information, the content I have selected and put together for you, I think is fundamental if we want to understand the reality in which we live now. So let's begin with a topic related to war and conflict and terror. As you know, Britain fought in World War I and in World War II, and both these conflicts left the country in serious economic difficulties. In the 90s, quindi facciamo un salto, negli anni 90, British troops were part of the coalition force involved in the Gulf War, la guerra del Golfo, when Iraq invaded Kuwait, and the Iraq War. Great Britain took also part in the Iraq War from 2003 to 2011, which toppled Saddam Hussein's government. And British forces also were involved in military action in Afghanistan against Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden after the 2001 terrorist attacks in the USA. We can't help mentioning what happened in London on the 7th July 2005. 4 suicide bombers attacked central London tube stations and buses, killing 52 people. And again, unfortunately, the list continues. In 2017, there were several terrorist attacks in London and one in Manchester, which caused many deaths and injuries. So after this list of dramatic events, I think it's time to concentrate our attention on people, because, as you know, history is not just made of wars, it's made above all of people, the protagonists who have marked the history of a country with their actions and with their decisions. In particular, I'd like to point out the role of Margaret Thatcher in 1979. You can see her in the picture. She was the leader of the Conservative Party, and she became the country's first female prime minister. She was also called, she was nicknamed actually, the Iron Lady, la donna, la Lady di Ferro. And I think there is a very interesting film about her. I saw it a few years ago, interpreted by Meryl Streep. E siccome abbiamo menzionato Margaret Thatcher, mi pare doveroso ricordare il sistema politico vigente nel Regno Unito. As you know, the United Kingdom is a parliamentary democracy, una democrazia parlamentare, with a constitutional monarch, con un monarca costituzionale. Che cosa significa? What does it mean? It means that the king or the queen is the head of state, è il capo di Stato, and the prime minister, nel nostro caso Boris Johnson, is the head of the government, è il capo del governo, which is voted into power by the people. The monarch, obviously, should remain and must remain politically impartial, deve ovviamente rivelarsi sempre imparziale, così come anche il nostro Mattarella. And the monarch, the Queen Elizabeth in our case, has ceremonial duties but very limited powers. The business of the UK Parliament takes place in the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and decisions made in one house have to be approved by the other. There is also a national parliament in Scotland, a national assembly in Wales, and a national assembly in Northern Ireland. And now it's time to talk about the Brexit issue. It's not easy to simplify and sum up the most important events which led to the exit of the United Kingdom from the European Union, but I will try. And I think that everything started with the global financial crisis in 2007 and 2008, which had negative effects on the British banking system and economy, and which pushed the United Kingdom to have negative feelings towards the European Union. So basically, the United Kingdom started to be more skeptical, started to mistrust the European Union, and started to be disappointed by the European Union. So it's not like one day it woke up and decided to leave. I think there were some kind of, some kind of events that paved the way to the Brexit. And as you know, the protagonists of the Brexit were three important political figures, political personalities. First of all, David Cameron, who was the Prime Minister in 2016 when the referendum took place. And then he resigned, si dimise, and he was replaced by Theresa May, who ruled, let's say, was in charge for a very short period, because again the parliament voted against her deal, and she had to leave and was replaced this time by our friend Boris Johnson, who is now the current Prime Minister. So on the 23rd of June 2016, the British people took part in this historic referendum where they had two options, staying, remaining, or leaving, and most of them voted for leaving, almost 51.9% of the population. Actually, David Cameron, the Prime Minister, couldn't expect such a result because he was in favor of staying in the European Union, but he had promised a referendum in the case of victory of his political party, and he had received a lot of pressure from the right-wing political party led by Farage in the UK. So there was a series of reasons which led to, let's say, the organization of this referendum. So the question is, why did people vote in favor of Brexit? Well, first of all, because they wanted to remove power and control of the UK from Brussels, quindi volevano togliere il potere, diciamo, il controllo a Bruxelles, and wanted to make immigration more difficult to the UK. Vi ricordate che c'era anche il problema dell'immigrazione, no? Gestire anche un flusso di persone in arrivo notevole, e poi lo sapete, i problemi relativi alla sicurezza, al terrorismo, quindi diciamo che in qualche modo le persone con questa scelta erano convinte di potersi tutelare votando per l'uscita dall'Unione Europea. And some people also believed that being out of the European Union would be better for the UK's economy in the long term. Alcuni erano anche convinti che a lungo termine, diciamo, anche l'economia ne avrebbe giovato. Why did people vote against Brexit? Ovviamente molti votarono anche contro, circa il 48%, e considerate che la maggior parte delle persone che vivevano in città, nelle grandi città dell'Inghilterra, ha votato per restare nell'Unione Europea, mentre chi viveva nei piccoli paesi, quindi who lived in small villages o in rural areas, nelle aree un po' più come dire, periferiche o rurali, invece ha votato per uscire dall'Unione Europea, quindi questo dato è interessante. And so why did people vote against Brexit? Quelli che hanno votato contro ovviamente l'hanno fatto per una serie di ragioni. For example, because they felt a sense of belonging with other countries of Europe. Tenete conto, no, che most of the British population comes from other European countries, quindi loro si sentivano primariamente europei, poi britannici, because they wanted to protect their freedom of travel and human rights, because they thought that immigration wasn't negative, but on the contrary was positive, and because they believed also in the negative consequences of the Brexit for the economy of the United Kingdom. Quindi diciamo l'altra faccia della medaglia. Cosa è successo dopo e perché dal 2016 siamo arrivati al 2020, no? Perché la Brexit è un processo lungo e non si poteva accelerare, ci volevano dei tempi tecnici e lo sapete che l'uscita definitiva è avvenuta il 31 gennaio del 2020. Obviously, there are other issues that still need to be discussed. In terms of, negotiations and agreements between the United Kingdom and the European Union, for example, the rights of the European citizens in the UK, because there are lots of people who work there, and the divorce bill, il cosiddetto atto di divorzio, which obviously will cost some money to the United Kingdom. And there is also another issue about the Northern Ireland border. Lo sapete, adesso c'è il nord dell'Irlanda che fa parte del Regno Unito e che ovviamente è fuori dall'Europa. Però il resto dell'Irlanda, la Repubblica d'Irlanda, fa parte dell'Europa, quindi c'è quella specie di, come dire, confine di cui parlavamo anche nella video lezione l'ultima volta, che creerà dei problemi soprattutto for the movement of goods, the movement of people, quindi bisogna, diciamo, stabilire delle regole, delle normative e ci vorrà molto tempo, quindi il processo è stato lungo e ha portato, insomma, a questa uscita che ancora ovviamente è definitiva, però ancora non è non è stata legiferata in tutto e per tutto e ci hanno messo circa 4 anni, quindi questo presuppone che ci vorranno ancora mesi. Qualcuno sostiene che entro la fine dell'anno, insomma, si dovrebbero terminare, insomma, di redigere gli accordi per diciamo la Brexit dal punto di vista burocratico. Bene, this is the end of this video. Questa è la fine del video e spero, insomma, di essere stata abbastanza chiara e di avervi dato un quadro più o meno generale di quella che è, diciamo, la storia veramente in pillole del Regno Unito.